Well, hello everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope all is well. Guys, if you're new here, welcome. Welcome to Sharina Valley. My name is Sharon, but you can call me either or, Sharina Belly, which happens to be my nickname given to me by my mother. But you can call me Sharon. I'll answer to both. But I wanted to do this little, it's not going to be a long video, but I wanted to share a little bit of the story time about how I became a homeowner. Well, I'm still buying. I still have a mortgage. I have several years left on it. Um, I had a 30-year mortgage, so. But anywho, guys, um, this is really not a story about buying my home, but it's gonna tie into that. It's really a story about how amazing Almighty and how faithful Almighty is. He's just the awesome, awesome, supreme, the only creator. I think I shared with you guys a while ago in a different video that I felt like I went to church in the womb because I had that kind of grandmother who wasn't playing no games. Okay, you were gonna be in church unless you were on your sick bed or you on a on your way up out of that flesh body. Okay, um, Almighty is just awesome. I can't that song that we used to sing in church. What a mighty God! It don't do justice for the Creator that I love, I've come to know, respect, and honor. It doesn't do it. That song doesn't do it justice. So anyway, here we go. Guys, before I got into the position that I'm in now, it's not a job that's you know, some people like to brag on titles and things like that. Listen, Almighty is not a respecter of titles, and nor am I. But my job they would say, well, they didn't change the names over the years, but it's kind of like a glorified secretary job. That's what's going on, okay? And I'm okay with it because it's a nice paying job for that title. It is, especially over the years where the income have been going up, and then with longevity, you get more money with that, and so listen, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing in my life. It truly has. But before I got this job, I told you what my first job was. I don't know. I'm going to repeat it because some of you guys are new and you may not have seen the video. My first job that I can recall was when I was a little small girl, and my mom decided to. I guess she couldn't find a babysitter or something. I don't know, but all I knew is I was going off to her job with her, and she used to one of her jobs were because she worked in a hotel, and she had other jobs cleaning out houses and places, things like that, and so she took me with her at one of the houses that she would clean. And she says to me, Sharina Belly, you too little to do any mopping or sweeping or anything like that, but you can get that rag and you can wipe down that countertop. So that started, and I don't know if it was just a thing where she didn't have a babysitter or maybe she wanted to teach me at an early age about um, the work ethic. So I just seen the person. I didn't know if it was a customer. So anyway, I that was my first job. So over the years, I've worked all kind of jobs. I've always worked in the private sector. I'm no longer in the private sector. Um, but hmm, yeah, that was my first job, guys. That was my first job, and I started working as I got older. My kids was getting older. I started working for this temporary agency. So it was a temp agency, okay? And I worked for them. And it was during this time, me working for that temp agency, I was living in a house. It was Section 8. It was Section 8. And because I had gotten my voucher, I had waited for years. I had been on that list for I don't know how many years. And God made a way after being on that list for so many years. The home that I was living in, they started doing in-house Section 8. And so that's how I got in the door to get, public housing or a voucher for Section 8, okay? So, okay. Now, y'all excuse me because I'm trying to think back. It's the memory ain't what it used to be, so y'all bear with me, okay? I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. Y'all just come on and take the trip with me, okay? But okay, so got on the Section 8, um, got the voucher for the Section 8, and came time the landlord and his wife was separating, so I had been living in this one house for 5 years, and he came to me and told me that him and his wife was separating, and because I had lived in the house so long, they was giving me first dibs on buying. So I'm like, what? And then he said, well, he said I'll even knock off 10,000 off the asking price. I'm like, oh, that sounded like it couldn't have gotten any sweeter. So I runs downtown and I put in for a loan. Now I'm still working for this temp agency, okay? I'm still working for the temp agency. And I'm trying to tell you, when people say look at God, I mean that. When I say it, I mean it in a whole new different. Because when I went to apply for the job, when I went to apply for the job, while working at this temp agency, mind you, no money in the bank. Because I'm just making it work from, one day to the next. So the people, and I told them, I say, listen, I was honest with them. I said, this is my first time venturing out into this direction. I had no qualms about it. I said, please talk to me like I'm 2 years old. Because one thing I didn't want to happen, I didn't want to go in there already naive, because I had never dealt with buying a house or car or anything at this time. So I told them, talk to me like I'm 2 years old and I won't be offended, because I did not know what I did not know. And they accommodated that. They really and truly did. They took me step by step, making sure that I was not going to leave their building, the way that I came in. Naive to everything, okay? Just didn't know. I was really, really young. A lot younger than what I am today, okay? Let's put it like that. So, no bank account to speak of. I had a CD in it one time, but when it matured, I ran and I cashed that out. So I had nothing in the bank. They told me they said, go and put $100 in the bank. We're gonna do something with the $100, but we're gonna. I can't remember exactly what the lady told me that they were gonna do, but they assured me that the $100 was gonna go back to my bank account, but they just needed it in there for whatever purposes. I forget what she said, but anyway, I did that, and I filled out whatever I needed to fill out. for the loan and everything because I'm trying to get a loan so I can buy this house. And I'm still working for the temp agency. Y'all don't forget that. Let's not lose sight on that. So when I got the letter back from the loan officer, it said approved. I'm like, wait a minute. Do they not know I'm working for a temp agency? A job that's not guaranteed from one day to the next? Do they not know that? Didn't matter if they knew that or not. That's the whole idea of it all. Almighty. What Almighty has for you, it's going to be for you, and ain't nothing Larry, Mo, Curly, Sue, Joe, Matilda, nobody going to be able to do nothing to take nothing away. If people could only really wrap their minds around that. I was flabbergasted at first, right? I think I messed that word up, but that's okay. Flabbergasted. I was all messed up. And then I had to stop and say, Sharon, gosh, what's going on with you? You know the God you serve is able and willing to do all things, big and small, for those who love him. And then I was okay because I couldn't figure it out. I mean, I'm like, well, what that? I was happy about it. Don't get me wrong. I was happy. I'm like, because I'm about to be a homeowner. And I hadn't thought about that. Listen, I thought I was going to go ahead on and be on that voucher until the day I left about this flesh. I had no aspirations, and I don't know why, but I was just moving along in life. And I was just happy to be above ground, doing whatever I can do out here to maintain and everything. And I didn't have any kind of grandiose. I know that might sound like some people might say, well, dang, don't you have ambitions? Of course. But I wasn't focused, laser jet focused on it, And I guess maybe because I wasn't laser jet focused on it, Almighty showed up in the midst when I least expected. I least expected to happen. Still working for the temp agency, okay? So that's how my house came to be. As far as me being a homeowner, or I'm buying a home. In several more years, I'll be done. I don't have much time left on that mortgage, but I got several more years and then I'll be done. The next thing that happened, when I tell y'all, I can't sing his praises loud enough for you guys to understand why I am the way that I am. I don't care what people call me. As long as Almighty know my heart, it doesn't matter to me what people say about me. Because people, until the day we leave up out of these forums, somebody gonna find something wrong with you. Just like somebody gonna find something right with you. So, and man is wishy-washy, And just for a little bit of knowledge, mine mean man mean mine. I don't know how much of that y'all are aware of, but that's what mine mean man and man mean mine. But anyway, not today with that one, okay? Anywho, got the house. I went to a closing. I never knew it was so much paperwork involved in closing a house. Oh, I must have signed. I felt like I signed my whole life away. I mean, I don't know how many pieces of paper. I must have been up in there because And it probably took longer than what it should have because I told you the husband and wife who owned the house, they were separating, and he was trying to go forward without her signature, and that wasn't going to happen. So we had to find her, fax over the documents to her so she can sign it and fax it back. All of that took a long time because he was upset. He was in his feelings, and he didn't want her to have no kind of, um, piece of the profit that they were going to be getting. So, but then, guys, then the house is a done deal. I'm still working for the temp agency. And then I started thinking, because the temp agency had me in jobs where it didn't make it hard for me to go and put in applications for better opportunities. And that's what I did. I started putting in applications. And listen, the thing about this next piece is how I come to have the job that I'm on right now. Because I had a little trouble in my past, way back in my late teens, early 20 years, okay? It wasn't nothing. It was disturbing the peace. But I had to be detained because I was a wild child, I mean, you know how we do when we young. We just cut up a little bit, So I had to. I'm sorry. I don't know. That person got the loudest horn, but so I did have a little something something on the records. Um, and when I was looking for other employment, they asked you, had you ever been in trouble before? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell the truth. I mean, because they're going to be able to put my little information in and find out anyway. Ain't no need to lie and make it matters worse. So I told the truth. I didn't give them a lot of information. I said if I get the job, I would explain. If I get the job, I wasn't going to tell you the business and you got the business and I ain't got no job. No. So I said, if I get the job or if I get the interview, I'll explain if you need me to. Because it wasn't really, like I said, it was disturbing the peace. Just being young and being a little on the rowdy side, because, I didn't, I got up a little in age. And as my grandma would say, they get a certain amount of age and they go to smelling themselves. So I guess I must have been smelling myself. So I got in that little bit, but honey, scared me straight. Do y'all remember that show, Scared Straight? Honey, yeah, got me right on all the way together. Because that was the first and the last. I ain't built for nothing like that, putting cuffs on you and all. I ain't about none of that. So scared me right on up into my senses. Listen, and I know Almighty say, my daughter, that's a lesson you gonna have to learn. And we all got lessons to learn here in these flesh bodies. We just do. But anyway, what I want to get to. So because of that, I thought, well, dang, that's gonna blow my chances. And when I tell y'all, Almighty was still moving for you, girl. Almighty was still making it happen. Yes, he was. He was still I got that J-O-B with that on my record. See, and people want to know why I love the Creator. Because he first loved me and right on loving me today. In spite of all of my imperfections, in spite of all of my faults, in spite of all of my mistrusting of him at times, he loved me first and continually loved me and loved me to today. So for you folks who think that you can't do a thing, I told you before, I don't know if you've seen the video, just have faith and trust. Don't don't let the enemy make you miss out on your blessings, okay? Because when we doubt what Almighty can do, it's going to tie his hands. And you might have to wait a little bit longer for that blessing. So just trust and believe. Okay, I'm going through something right now. Maybe it's a test, because we're going to have tests in these flesh bodies. We're going to have to go through our trials and tribulations. Yeshua said, listen, I had to bear my cross. You got to bear yours. You got crosses you got to bear. But while you're bearing those crosses, you just trust and believe. Almighty will bring you through. Listen, I tell my family, if he take you to it, he can bring you through it. Just trust him, guys. Trust the Creator, because he knows what he thinks about us, his children. He knows the heart he has for us. He don't want us to fail. He want us to strive. But we got things to do. We have things to do. So that's why I love him so. It doesn't matter if people doubt what I'm saying. It doesn't matter, because the only thing that matters to me is that Almighty, being a cardiac knower, he knows what's on the inside there. Is it 100 or 1,000% where I would like it to be? No. But I always tell people I'm always going to be a work in progress. Do I stumble and fall? Of course I do. But I heard somebody say, when you get down, get on back up. Like my mama used to say, don't lay there and wallop in the mess. Get on back up, dust yourself off. Fall on your face and ask Almighty, who already know what you're in need of. Ask him to help you get through whatever this test is. God knows. Matter of fact, going through a personal test with a family member, I'm not even worrying myself with it, because I know what Almighty is able and capable about doing. I know it. I know it. In my heart of hearts, I know it. So guys, I just wanted to share that. I had my own reason for wanting to. I was going to share it in the future, but tomorrow's not promised to any of us. But I said, you know what? Now might be a good time to share this little bit of, information. And it's not a little bit of information. I don't know why I use those words. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. If you just trust and don't doubt, Almighty gonna bring you out. He gonna bring you on out. And guess what? You're gonna be better for it on the other side. Okay, guys, I think that's enough. I gotta go back inside. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the love and support that you guys been showing me. This is blowing my mind too. It really is. But I'm appreciative of every little step. Because I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to what I really come here for. Okay? And hopefully you guys will be in there with me still. Hopefully you guys, will just understand that I have some testimonies to share. That's all. Okay, so anyway, guys, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Again, I say thank you for watching. Love yourself, guys. Love yourself. Tell yourself you love yourself. Love someone else. Tell them you love them. I love you guys. I mean it. And there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Not a thing. Okay, so until the next time I see you or you see me, or however this thing is supposed to be, listen, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you've been here before, welcome on back. Welcome on back. Your first time, come on and hit that subscribe button. I know you want to. I see you over there. I couldn't go out without a smile or a laugh. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys on the next video. Y'all be blessed, okay? Take care.